So you actually are somewhat familiar with this app, so you might be familiar with the judges.
Mm-hmm.
In this version, you have the judges over here, up here. You click on the hammer icon for the judges, and you have some preset judges. You know that.
So each quadrant represents what?
Each
exactly?
quadrant represents overall tuning, notes that are played early or notes that are played late or dragging.
Right.
So by clicking over here, you get different.
Okay, so those are all presets. Also.
Presets for different, like I don't know how tough you want to be analyzed. Also, there is one. I like this one that says "You're a judge."
So you can customize it.
This one allows you to change how you want to be judged.
So everything in the app so far is completely customizable.
Yeah, that's the idea, because the idea is that people can design the exercise that is right for them.
Right.
And I'm sure you have a lot of students, and a lot of times I find that getting the right exercise in front of a student is crucial.
You can't cookie cut a curriculum, so to speak.
Exactly.
You have to be kind of flexible based on what their strengths or weaknesses are.
Right.
If you want them to succeed or maximize.
They need to be challenged a little bit.
Right.
And not so much that they can't do it at all, or if they're not challenged at all, it's just boring.
It's a fine line between making them grow and then setting them up to fail.
Yeah, I call it the rubber band theory.
Uh-huh.
It needs to stretch a little bit, but it can't break.
That's a good
point. When I work on these for myself, I like to get all my judges set to tough.
Okay.
Because that's where I find that it's challenging enough for me. Or sometimes I get stuff on tuning.
Yeah.
But overall very strict. And sometimes I have a tendency to play my notes a little bit late, so I get strict on late notes, and I stay on tough on tuning and early notes.
So this is all about whether or not you're arriving at the note slightly early. Right. You have a whole node or whole quadrant.
Is the start of the
designated
note.
To just that.
Where you hit that note.
Right. Because a lot of people won't sustain the notes to their full value. That's a common sort of symptom in music.
Yeah.
People say you're rushing all the time, and I'm always like, well, your note lengths are off. That's why you're rushing all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because in my opinion, rhythm is defined by when the note starts and when it cuts off.
Mm-hmm.
That size is the rhythm. And when I do my exercises with C music, I do my best to cut off exactly what it is.
Yeah.
If I have a note that is 2.5 beats, I go like ba off on the upbeat, right on the upbeat. So the size, I think about that a lot.
Yeah, note length is really important with regard to what you're doing to the tempo and the rhythm.
And absolutely, and I feel that we make rhythm with our cutoff, not only with the attack, but also with the cutoff.
I see it all the time with piano students. They always pay attention to hitting the key and never when they're letting go of it. They always because it's obvious when you hit the key and you think about that, but it's not as obvious when you let go of it. Or the notes overlapping, or is there too much space in between the notes?
Exactly. Or on wind instruments, what happens sometimes is that students sometimes just cut off a note just because they are starting to run out of air.
Yeah.
While they could just hold it a tiny bit longer and make the right size rhythm with So we could talk about this.
Right. That's a really important feature, and that's why it takes up a quadrant of your judge.
Absolutely.